This is Bumper to Bumper, the car show. Drive in anxious and cruise out confident. With the best automotive information for your vehicle. And now your hosts, Matt Allen and Dave Riccio.
Well, good morning, everybody, on Father's Day weekend. Welcome to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio, here along with Matt Allen. We are here every Saturday from 11 to noon on KTAR. At Bumper to Bumper Radio, we're helping you, the motoring public, have a better overall car experience. So if you got car questions, we have car answers. We encourage you to give us a call at 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. You can also text us at 411-923. Today on the Bumper to Bumper Roadmap, fact or fiction, open phones, and it's that time of year, Matt.
It is. What's the weather like out there? It's hot. Damn hot. Real hot. Hot in this is my shorts. I can cook things in it. Well, can you tell me what it feels like? Fool, what is hot? I told you again. Were you born on the sun? It's damn hot.
You know, I think it's funny that people are like, people don't want to go outside, right? Because it's so hot. Man, if you don't like it outside, I guarantee your car does not like it outside.
My friend always goes up to Munns Park. He goes, I'm getting out of here. I'm going to Munns Park. I said, but when you go up there, you don't do anything but sit around inside all day anyway. Down here, what's the difference? Your life is 74 degrees no matter what. You never leave the house.
That's true. That is true. But it is hot. You know, the thing about it, it's torturing your car. I mean, the modern car is built for the heat. That's why General Motors put that test facility out here years ago.
Everybody tests their cars in Arizona.
Oh, yeah, because it's ridiculously hot. And, you know, one of the things I'm thinking about, you know, last year my family loaded up. We went to drive to San Diego for our family vacation. My wife had a brand new Grand Cherokee, 3,000 miles on it. The last thing I thought would happen was us breaking down.
Well, let me clarify something, Dave. You didn't break down. Granted, you were stuck on the side of the road with a vehicle that didn't start, but you were not broken down. Let's be clear on that. What was it that you were?
I was out of gas.
Okay.
I was out of gas.
That's what it was.
But, you know, the gas gauge was defective. So the car wasn't proven out. The gas gauge had never been down to that level. So, but the thing is, when your car doesn't run, you can't run the air conditioner while you're sitting on the side of the road. Mm-hmm. So we're sitting on the side of the road, and it's 107, 108 degrees is what it was. And we can't stand out in the sun because we got no shade. So we got to sit in this car with black interior, and we got no airflow. So, I mean, we got the wind, you know, the sunscreen up in the window, that kind of thing, but we are just sweating, you know, our wets off.
Right.
And so, you know, I got thinking about it. If we would have had a couple of lawn chairs in an umbrella, in maybe a cooler full of
favorite beverage,
we would have been in good shape. Right. But we didn't. So we were miserably sweating our butts off in this little hot, you know.
Yeah.
It was like a Dutch oven.
So okay, so what should we have in our car, I guess? I mean, first off, we want to avoid breaking down. And most of the time, you see these poor people on the side of the road. I say poor guy, I mean, just because he's broken down. He's the family man. He's got to get there and open the hood. But I can tell you what, there isn't a darn thing you're fixing under the hood of a car these days, especially when it's 1,000,000 degrees under the hood of the car.
Oh, man.
So, you know, if the car does break down, yeah, take a peek, but please be safe. Don't open the radiator. Don't make your trip even worse.
It's bad now. Don't make it worse.
Yeah, you're waiting for the tow truck. You don't want to be waiting for the ambulance and be sitting in the ER either with your arm the skin melting off. So, but I think we were talking before the show, Dave. You would have been like, "Hey, if I had a golf umbrella in my car, that would have been nice.
that would have been nice. You know, a lawn chair and an umbrella would have been fantastic. You know, and I did mess with the car. I mean, I opened the hood. I'm like, you know, it didn't sound like it's getting any fuel. So I'm in there tapping on relays.
You were right.
I was right? But it was so hot when I was getting down on the ground. I was trying to bump the bottom of the fuel tank, you know, but the pavement was so hot. So it actually would be nice to have like a mat. Mm-hmm. You could lay out if you had to change a tire or something, because that asphalt, I'm looking at something, if it's 90 degrees out, the asphalt is 150 degrees. Mm-hmm. So this was 107 degrees. I don't even want to guess what the asphalt was, but you could certainly have cooked an egg right there. So a mat, an umbrella, definitely some water. I mean, because you're sweating like gallons per minute. It's pretty intense, maybe 2 gallons a minute.
Yeah, but I think most people, when they're, say they're cruising to California or trucking through the desert, most people have an ice chest in the car, probably have some sodas or, something for the kids to have. But it's worth having an extra gallon or two of water in the back. It doesn't take up any extra room necessarily. And
we didn't have any of that.
Huh?
And we were there for, I want to say, 3.5 hours before we were actually on the tow truck. Then the tow truck driver showed up, right? I mean, it's a brand new, model 2016 Grand Cherokee. And we got to roll it up, and we can't get the car in neutral because the engine won't start. So
you're learning all about your new
I'm
car.
reading the instruction manual on the side of the road, and sweat is dripping off my face into the manual. And I found out, there's a little thing to pull in the middle of the console.
Yeah. So hey, not necessarily related to the car, but a lot of people travel with their pet in the car, and so we got to think about them. What if we're traveling and the car breaks down? You got a bowl. You got something to be able to give your dog or cat some water. Or what if, the dog's got to get out? Think about this. You're cruising across the desert. Your car doesn't break down. But, hey, nature calls. Dog's got to take care of some business. You got to get that poor guy out. You're going to put him on the pavement? You got to have some, they get REI in places. They have the boots for the dog. I saw on the news last night. If you can't walk on the bare asphalt, your dog can't.
Right.
So... keep our critters in mind too, not just the car and thinking about us. Think about those guys. They can't talk to you and say, "Hey, this damn ground's hot, I'm burning my paws here."
Well, I'm thinking about your car that's been sitting out in the parking lot all day long, baking in the sun, and you weren't one of those lucky people that found shade, right? So, I mean, that thing...
You don't get the covered spot.
You don't get the
high roller.
No. But the things I do with my car when I park it, I put, the thing up in the windshield. That thing makes a huge difference.
Big time.
And then I crack the window just a little bit, just so, because what happens is the light can come in through the glass, but heat can't go back out. So by cracking the window, you drop the temperature 20 degrees. Mm-hmm. I just made that number up, but it does make a huge difference.
I'd go with it.
Now you get to your car and it's time to roll. What's the quickest way to get that car cooled down?
So that thing's baking all day. It's 175 degrees inside the car, and you want to get that AC rolling. So what I do, and I think this is the best way to do it, is you get in the car.
It must be if you do it.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't do it if it wasn't right. So you get in the car, and I'm dropping all the windows. Bam, they're all going down because we've got to get that hot air in the car out of the car. Mm-hmm. So start the car, drop the windows, all the windows, get the AC going on full blast, fresh air.
You don't recirculate that.
I don't think I recirculate. No, because the recirc, you're just you're sucking air from in the car and then cooling it. But to get started, you don't want to do that because that air in the car is hotter. So I want to get rolling. I want to get driving, get out of the parking lot probably, depending on where you are. But go 100 yards if you're traveling fast enough to get the air moving. Exchange the air from the car, and then get the windows up, get the thing, keep the air blowing. Then probably once it starts to cool down, maybe slow the fan speed down from the super high, the highest, just to 1 notch, and then keep it on recirc. Mm-hmm. And I think that'll cool the car down the fastest.
Yeah. The other thing is, too, the short drives. You got to go 10 minutes. If your car's been baking in the sun in 10 minutes, it's not cooling down. Nope. So hopefully you wore some deodorant.
The other thing that I think about, Dave, and I do this, the way I park my car. Think about where the sun is going to be when you come back to your car. Just last night I stopped at Costco on the way home, and I'm like, oh no, if I park that way, the sun's coming in the driver's window. So now what's hot? The driver's seat's burning hot, steering wheel's hot. So I said, no, I'm going to turn the other direction.
Oh yeah.
I put the passenger side to the west side. So it's just a matter of turning right or left into a different parking space. But it was more comfortable for me when I got in the car. So you think about those little things.
On occasion, I don't put that screen up in the front window. I put it in the side windows because that's where the sun's coming from.
Or at the shop, a lot of times, where I park, usually it faces west. Well, when I come in the afternoon, I back into the spot now, because it's also, besides just not baking my car, it's not making my headlights turn yellow.
Yeah, that's true too. The other thing is, if there's something on your car that you've been putting off, like a repair. Maybe someone told you, your radiator's starting to leak a little bit. Let's keep an eye on it, that type of thing. Now's a good time to take care of that before before to the side of the road excursion because it really puts everything to the extreme test. I mean, it's anything that was on the fritz is moving past that.
You know, we had a customer call us. They were on their way to up North Pine Top or something like that, rolling through Fountain Hills, and they stopped at their favorite auto parts store because their check engine light came on. So the kid comes out and checks the light. He says, "Yeah, we've had a lot of these today. One of your sensors just got too hot. You'll be fine." Whoa,
there's a plethora of bad information out there, is there not, about cars?
Now, he may have been right that we didn't have enough information, but one of your sensors getting too hot, or if the notion somebody says, "Oh, it's just because it's hot out," I don't know if I'd take that for the answer. I'm not saying that their car is going to break down, but they say, "Oh, that's normal when it's hot." No, it's not.
Nothing's normal. They test cars out here. They're designed for the heat. So anyhow, when we come back, looks like we've got Melissa, we've got Earl, we've got Richard, Ron, and someone else who's not screened yet, and phone calls at 602-277-5827. You listen to Bumper Radio. Matt and I share car repair tips weekly to help you keep your car safely on the road, and a few of them are easy to do.
Yep, you're right, Dave. And one of the easiest is to have a dependable battery that you can trust to get you started no matter what the conditions.
Interstate batteries are what we trust at Bumper to Bumper Radio. In fact, they're what we use at our own shops for our customers.
If you're like most people, your car is one of your most valuable investments. Make sure you take care of that investment with the power necessary to get you where you need to be. Interstate batteries are America's #1 replacement brand with the factory fresh guarantee, and they're easy to find at good shops everywhere. Cars or trucks, Interstate has you covered with long life and performance in our harsh desert climates with products like Megatron Plus that carries a 30-month free replacement and a 6-year performance guarantee. Interstate batteries, no battery lasts longer. Check them out at interstatebatteries.com.
Hi, I'm Kurt Morgan, owner of Shadow Mountain Auto Service in Phoenix. I'm also a college automotive instructor, and I've been a technician for over 30 years. In that time, I've seen all kinds of games and gimmicks in the auto repair business, the worst of which seems to be associated with transmissions. I think it's because, to most, including technicians, the inside of a transmission is a mystery. So when one of our valued customers has a transmission problem, we send them straight to Tri-City Transmission. No games, no gimmicks. That's Tri-City Transmission.
There's nothing more important than family. Hi, Kurt Rock for Kurt's Auto Repair. Family owned and operated and Bumper to Bumper Radio preferred. We've been taking care of Valley families and their auto care needs with a perfect Better Business record for over 27 years. Come experience the difference our ASE Master Techs can make for you and your family at Kurt's Auto Repair. Just east of I-17 at 22nd Avenue and Bell Road, or online at mycarhurts.com. Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic. If your car hurts, take it to Kurt's.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio here along with Matt Allen, and we are helping you with your car. We're talking about how hot it is outside, how your car doesn't like it, but we can talk about anything. If you want to talk about tires, if you want to talk about brakes, if you want to talk about intermittent issues, if you want to talk about noises, if you want to talk about window regulators that break every other year, if you want to talk about any of that stuff, we can do that. We've got Melissa, Earl, Richard, Ron, and... You know, Matt, I gotta stop for a minute. It's Father's Day. I want to give a shout out to my dad. Hey, Dad, Dennis Riccio, happy Father's Day. And then I want to give a shout out to my wife. Honey, remember, it's Father's Day tomorrow.
Right? Well, and I'll do the same thing. Maybe my dad, Tom Allen, is listening up in Nevada. He's probably enjoying the cool high desert out there. But heck, it's 11 on Saturday. He's out working on the ranch, I'm sure. Moving ditches or doing something. So happy Father's Day, Pa. I call him Pa. And Dave, it's not Father's Day
Weekend.
It's Father's Day week.
Father's Day week.
And Father's Day is Sunday. So
honey, if you're listening, Father's Day weekend and son.
Well, no, week. So that means Father's Day is Sunday. That's the beginning of the new week. So it's Father's Day week on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even till next Saturday.
Okay.
So just remember that.
All week long. Well, we're going to go with, I'm hoping I'm reading that right. Melissa, 2014 Chevrolet Tahoe. How can we help you, Melissa? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
I had a question for you. is it quote unquote normal for motor mounts to be bad on a 2014?
How many miles on your truck?
Oh, I drive a lot. I have 80, 81.
Yeah, it's right at the beginning of the window of motor mount failure.
Yeah, but when you say bad, do you have a symptom associated with that? Do you feel something?
Oh my gosh, it's brutal. And my mechanic, he did some testing where he put it in drive and he had his foot on the brake and the gas at the same time. And you could see one side of the motor lifting and going back down. But when I drive, it shakes like it's having convulsions almost. It's terrible.
Yeah,
it's convulsing, saying, "Help me, get me some mounts."
Yeah, normally I see the left motor mount brake first. So when you give it gas, the motor is going to torque to the right side.
Yeah.
So that left mount a lot of times will go first. But it's that leaving the stoplight, for me, I break motor mounts quicker than anybody because I leave the stoplight hard. But you'll feel it. There's two sensations when you first go. You'll kind of feel something pick up and then come back down maybe, when you're into it, 10 feet.
Or what a lot of people do, you step on the gas and you feel this movement, so you let off the gas and you get this bonk. It drops in. You can a lot of times feel it in your feet.
Now, here's the deal. Don't ignore motor mounts because as that motor picks up, it tugs on all the radiator hoses. Tugs on all the wiring harnesses, all that stuff. So people will go, motor mounts, I can put that off. You know what? You're going to turn your car into a jalopy real quick if you don't take care of those motor mounts. So I tend not to ignore them.
And then on that one, there used to be an argument you replace all the mounts at one time. And that was like the front wheel drive, thing, the Hondas and whatever. Because a lot of times there's many reasons to replace mounts. In Melissa's case, it's broken and the left one's broken. Probably should at least do the left one. Yeah, maybe do the right one. If it's a four-wheel drive and they're more difficult, no. If it's two-wheel drive and it's pretty easy to do, maybe it makes sense to do both.
I'm a fan of doing them both. That's just me because I don't necessarily replace one tire at a time, even though I make right-hand turns more and spin the tires.
It's a little different. When one's broken, but if you have the case where a lot of times motor mounts are quote bad, but they're not broken; they're just sunk down. Mm-hmm. And remember that the job of the mount is to hold the engine in place. But it's also to cushion and dampen some of that vibration. So what we see besides broken, that rubber just, you call it grounded, Dave. Mm-hmm. It just it doesn't cushion anymore. It's like your shoe. They're just hard.
Yeah, it is get a new pair of shoes. You're like, wow.
And all that vibration then transfers through the body and into the steering wheel and the chassis of the car. So in those cases, we do all four. But it also depends on budget.
Yeah, in your case, Melissa, there's a left and a right engine mount, and then there's going to be one underneath the transmission.
And then I guess some things to maybe prevent the motor mounts from breaking. You could slow your roll a little bit on the XL. But I see a lot of people, they're in reverse, and they're still rolling, and they drop that thing and drive and then nail it. That's gonna put tension on the mounts too. So.
At a transmission shop, people always say, I'm not really good about coming to a stop. I'm like, I don't either.
Right.
But I can fix it if I break it. So
right.
Anyhow, thanks for the call, Melissa. Let's go with Earl in Mesa. He's got a 93 4.9 Coupe DeVille. How can we help you, Earl? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
It's a Coupe DeVille.
All right. Good morning. Thanks for taking our call. I've done everything to this car, and it has a weird exhaust smell, and it's not sulfur, and I don't know what it is. I even went so far as to put a Luma seal in the block. I've taken it to Coulter, to their 30-year techs. It's just got this weird smell, and if you got the windows down, it's not cool, and it's not an exhaust leak. Hi there, I have a large iced tea.
I'll take a Pepsi also. Breakfast Jacks.
Weird smell out of the.
It's out of the exhaust pipe, though. It's not a. That's what you're smelling.
How's the performance of the car, Earl? Does it drive okay and everything?
Yeah, my wife has a bad leg, drives that same car. We've had 7 of them, for argument's sake. It runs good. That runs like they all do. That's the car that she's comfortable with.
Sure.
And there's no gas smell. It's just like a weird. It's not a rich smell though. The guy at Coulter said, "Go beat it and see, take it home and see how it smells after that." And
damn you, car, you stink!
We call that an Italian tune-up. That's where you go out and flog the car,
right?
Go drive it like it's stolen. And I think that's what he meant by beat it.
Well, yeah. I thought you were going to beat it into shape, punish it or something. Go home, close the garage door, and have your way with it.
Right.
Well, just one thing. He's been through all the motions, and people have looked at it, and I guess you got to sniff it, not necessarily look at it. Maybe it's a fuel delivery thing. That's not a newer car with a modern check engine light. It does have a check engine light.
I think those things had an air pump on them back then.
But assuming that the check engine light's not on the car's running well, maybe a cheap thing to do is go run it through an emissions test.
Yeah.
If there's really something bad coming out the tailpipe, that emissions test that's required for a 93 car will pick that up.
Right.
And if you fail the test, then maybe we're on to something. If the test pass, I don't know.
And the other thing too, I mean, the catalytic converter. I mean, how's that playing in as far as cleaning it up? Smells.
Yeah. I don't know. No Febreze on that one.
No,
I guess.
For sure. So,
Yeah.
But I think, I mean, there's a lot there, and I'm not smelling it, so I don't know what that's hard to really decipher.
Unfortunately, I am Dave with you today.
Well, I mean, as far as the heat goes, Matt, as we're talking about this situation, and we got Rich and Ron and Matt that we're going to get to here after the break. But we talked about parking in the shade. What about pulling a smoking hot car into your garage? Man, that just heats the stink out of your house. I notice.
I was talking to Pascal this morning, and Pascal is one of the service advisors at my shop, and he says, I think people should pull their car open the hood before they pull in the garage. And I have a neighbor where I used to live in the neighborhood and across the street from my buddy's house. And every day this guy had his cars out front with the hood open. And I thought, what is this whack job doing? But now, you think about it.
Yep.
It's hot. You pull that car's running 230 degrees. You got a 230 degree heat sink you pull into the garage. And maybe you pull two of them in.
Oh, yeah.
And then shut the door. I've gone out in my garage and I'm like, good Lord, it's hot in this garage. I mean,
Yep.
I always preach to leave the garage door open, but I think maybe it's a good idea to leave the car outside for a little bit. And think about what that does to the home AC bill.
Oh yeah, no, it really drives up the cost of AC. So anyhow, when we come back, we got Richard, Ron, and Matt in open lines at 602-277-5827. 602-277-KTAR. You can also text us at 411-923. You're listening to Matt and Dave, your KTAR car guys on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
The best summer golf pass in the Valley is on sale. Get 6 rounds of golf at either the Arizona Biltmore Golf Club or the Wigwam for just $144. 5 courses, 6 rounds, and 1 low price. Plus, the summer pass is loaded with cool perks, like discounts on room nights and spa experiences at the Wigwam Resort, 2-for-1 drink coupons, greens fees discounts for friends, even golf discounts this fall. The pass is good May 15th through September 15th, so don't delay. Get your 2017 summer pass at Arizona Biltmore or Wigwam Golf Shops today.
It sounds like they've just had the accurate automotive experience. We're family owned and operated and have served the Mesa, Tempe, Gilbert communities for over 22 years. We focus on building long-lasting relationships and, oh yeah, listening to you so that we can understand, meet, and exceed your expectations. 1 location, 14 bays, 88 years of automotive expertise, and a passionate commitment to customer service and excellence. My name is Lee Weatherby, and I approve this message because it's true. We love what we do, and we want to do it for you. Accurate Automotive, the home of friends serving friends.
It's time to celebrate Dad with the gift he really wants, the gift of golf from PGA Tour Superstore. Check out the savings with 6 golf lessons for just $250 or $100 off Ping-G drivers and $50 off assorted wedges. If Dad is trying to dial in the green, save $50 off select rangefinders from Bushnell, Garmin, and others. Make this a Father's Day that Dad will celebrate all year long. Doors open at 9 a.m., so shop early at any of the 4 Phoenix or Tucson locations.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A+ rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20+ years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
KTAR FM, Glendale, Phoenix.
KTAR News on 92.3 FM.
Arizona's news station.
KTAR. On air, 92.3 FM. Online at KTAR.com. And streaming live on the KTAR News app. Your breaking news and traffic now.
It's 11:30. I'm Tom Perumian. Here's our top story. The judge in Bill Cosby's sexual assault trial declaring a mistrial after the jury failed to reach a verdict today. Attorney Gloria Allred, who represents 33 women who have accused Cosby of sexual misconduct, commented after the mistrial.
We can never underestimate the blinding power of celebrity, but justice will come.
Prosecutors say that they will retry the case within 120 days. London police say 58 people who were in the Grenfell Tower are still missing and assumed to be dead. Police Commander Stuart Cundy said Saturday that the number, which was based on reports from the public, may rise. He says it'll take weeks or longer to recover and identify all of the dead in the public housing block that was devastated by a fire early Wednesday. Let's get a check on traffic with Mike Daniels in the KTAR Traffic Center. Mike.
Well, thanks, Tom. I've got a crash block in the right lane, 10 eastbound east of 43rd Avenue. Expect some delays in that area and a wreck at 16th Street just north of Baseline. This report brought to you by Red Mountain Weight Loss, exclusively at RM3. Lose up to 20 pounds or more by this time next month at RM3. Go to redmountainweightloss.com today. I'm Mike Daniels, KTAR News.
Clear, sunny, hot, dangerous. An excessive heat warning remains in effect. It'll be 110 degrees today, 114 tomorrow. We'll see overnight lows in the 80s. Right now, 105 degrees in Chandler. Weather brought to you by Howard Air. I'm Tom Perumian on Arizona's news station, KTAR News.
Get ready to post pics of your car dashboard thermometer. Phoenix temperatures could set heat records early next week. Don't forget to hydrate, don't overdo it outdoors, and don't stray too far away from Arizona's news station, as we'll let you know just how hot it gets. Hey, we live and work in the valley just like you, and we suffer in this heat too. Let's be miserable together. KTAR News on 92.3 FM and streaming live on the KTAR News app.
Hi, I'm Dave Riccio, owner of Tri-City Transmission. Well, you may have come to know us for being a transmission expert. What you may not know is that our customers regularly ask us why we don't perform repairs to the rest of the vehicle. You guys are so great. Why work on just the transmission? Well, the requests became hard to ignore, and 3 years ago, we began to build an infrastructure to perform general automotive repair. We weren't going to do general repair if we couldn't be great at it. So in 2013, we began the soft opening of Tri-City Auto Repair on Smith Road. We brought on ASE Master Technicians to work side by side with our Master Transmission Technicians. The combination of the best in both of these trades has created a synergy that allows us not only to fix your transmission, but to service and repair your whole car, and to do it well. Let's face it, the modern car has become so integrated. We believe all of our expert knowledge puts us ahead of the curve. Find us at tricitytransmission.com or tempeautorepairshop.com. That's tempeautorepairshop.com.
Hi, Lisa Henry with Russ Lyon Sotheby's International Realty. Have you been thinking maybe the time is right to move, but you're not sure if you have enough equity in your home or if it really is a good time? Well, home values have increased significantly over the past few years, and interest rates are still historically low. For how long? No one knows. But for every 1% increase in the interest rate, the result is about a 10% loss in purchasing power. So it might be a really great time to sell your home and either upsize or downsize to a new home while the interest rates are still low. Contact me via my website at lisareneehenry.com or direct at 480-330-9530 for a no-obligation market valuation on your home and to hear about our global online marketing plan designed to sell your home quickly for top dollar. Again, that's lisareneehenry.com, 480-330-9530. Come experience the difference a truly customer-focused real estate agent can make.
Who can you trust here in the Valley to repair your ride? This is Bumper to Bumper Radio. KTAR News on 92.3 FM.
All right, welcome back to Bumper Radio. That guy over there is Dave Riccio, and I am Matt Allen. And every single Saturday we are here being your KTAR car guys to help you with your car, your truck, whatever your transportation is, I think we can help you. Dave, you might even be able to answer a bicycle question, I bet.
I can, yeah. Derailleurs and cogs and sprockets and that kind of stuff.
You know all that stuff, huh? So, if you got questions with your car, maybe a list of repairs, anything you want to talk about related, anything. We're talking about the heat today, but it doesn't matter because this show is about what you want to talk about. And the way to get a hold of the show, call us 602-277-5827. It's 602-277-KTAR. If you're kind of shy, maybe you can text us if you'd like to do that. 411-923. We'll probably just respond by talking about your text, or we might send a text back. Dave, we talk about the batteries going bad. We talk about breaking down in Yuma. We talk about the car being hot, how to make the AC work. But I'm seeing more and more tires on the freeway, and that happens this time of year when it gets hot. So when we're sitting on the side of the road, we're worrying about ourselves and how hot we are. But who do we know is going to come rescue us, right? It's the tow truck driver, the forgotten guy out there busting his butt, sweating his you-know-what's off to get your tire back on, to get you where you need to go, or to get your car towed, or pick you up from your accident maybe. So,
well, if you're one of those people that has a roadside service, the thing is this time of year, there's a chance you're going to be on the side of the road. It could be a tire, could be a battery, could be a lot of different things. You're at some point going to need a tow driver, okay? Maybe if you got a roadside service, great, call them.
Yeah, that'll be 3 hours, sir. Maybe not. I'll call my guy.
Yeah. So I do want to give a shout out to what I think is the best tow company going. That's all over towing, quick pick towing. They go by a couple names. But it's a fantastic family-run deal, and we've been using them at Tri-City Transmission for a long time now, and their drivers are different. I mean, they're different. They show up. They're professional. And these guys are showing up to a bat. When it's hot like this, people get weird.
Everybody's mad.
Everybody's pissed off.
Nobody's happy on the side of the road, and these guys get the brunt of it sometimes.
They do get the brunt of it. So be nice to your tow driver. When they show up, we get them a cold Gatorade. Love your hug your tow driver a month. Take care of them, right? Yeah. But the guys at Quick Pick Towing they're very professional, and those are the kind of people you want showing up. When it's a bad situation when you're on the side of the road. They've got a good balance of taking care of your car, getting you handled, at the same time putting up with your grouchiness because you broke down on the side of the road. So
so you know what? Tip the guys. Throw them $5, throw them $10. I mean,
it is a hard job.
It is. And, and it's a deadly job too.
Yeah.
I had tow trucks. I never had a driver get hurt. We had a guy not paying attention on the side of the road. He ran into the back of our truck, but he did the Dukes of Hazzard off that thing. I mean, the bed was down, and the driver of the car was killed. But if my driver had happened to be loading the car, he'd been done. And so these tow drivers are on the side of the road. They've got the lights going. At nighttime, at least you can see it. But if you're paying attention, move over. Number one, it's the law. You're supposed to slow down and move over. Maybe if you can't move over, I usually put on my turn signal. I think that's kind of a signal to them that I've acknowledged that they're there. I'll put on my left turn and move over. But give these tow drivers some space. There's tow truck drivers that get killed every single year helping people on the side of the road. We say the fire department's our hero, and the police officers out there on the side of the road are the hero.
Excellent point. They're getting them out of a dangerous situation. That's what it is on the side of the road, is a dangerous situation. Yeah. And also, if you missed your exit and your turnoff, don't go cutting across the gore point. That's where people break down, and that's where they go. So don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah. And if you can, try and think ahead. My car's broken. My tire's flat. Don't pull into the mud. Try not to create a situation that makes the tow truck driver be in an unsafe position. Try to get to a point where you think that they're going to have an easier time loading the car, and then listen to them when they're there. Let them control the scene, if you will. If they tell you to go stand somewhere, go stand where they tell you to stand.
And if you need a tow company, Quick Pick All Over Towing. We've got Michael, Ray, Matt, Ron, and we are going to go with Richard in Phoenix. He's got a 2004 Ford F-250 Super Diesel. Looks like you got a tranny question. How can we help you, Richard? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Well, I got a couple of questions here, so don't cut me off, all right?
We'll try not to. If they're appropriate questions, we'll take them.
I think I called the right people with Tri-City Tranny specialist. I have an issue. I've got about 237 on it, And as after I drive for about 20 minutes, the check gauge light comes on and the tow haul light flashes. And sometimes it won't shift out of second gear.
Oh, no.
And I checked the fluid level. Fluid level was low. I added some fluid, but it doesn't seem to register somehow.
Does that have the little white
you
tip on
feel-
that dipstick? Those are hard to read.
I know they are. Yeah, I had to touch it to see if there was fluid on it, you know?
Yep, for sure. Okay, what's your
Not
next
like
question?
dirty diesel oil. So do you have any idea what that could be?
Yeah, what's happening? You're driving around, and on a long drive, something is starting to go wrong inside the transmission. And it doesn't have a check engine light to turn on in a Ford, so it flashes usually the overdrive light or the tow haul light to let you know there's a problem. So there's something going on wrong with your transmission. I don't think it's a low fluid condition because it's been perfectly full of fluid all the way down. And if anything, after a long drive, the fluid level went up in the transmission, not down. So I don't think it's a fluid condition, but it's starting to see. And one of the things that transmissions do is, or the computers do, is track the transmission if it's connecting all the way. And if it's slipping a little bit or a torque converter clutch is starting to have an issue, it will flash that light. So there's something going on there. Could be an electrical fault, and it's going into a false fail-safe mode. So there's transmission problems and there's transmission control problems, and someone's going to need to diagnose it to get to the bottom.
Okay.
Number 2 question.
The trouble is you guys are in Tempe, and I'm up here in Deer Valley. So that's kind of a long ways to go, you know?
Well, you know, Richard, I'm going to take that question for Dave. It is a long way to go, but it's a potential for you to maybe spend a lot of money. It's potential for you to maybe spend a lot of money that you don't need to spend if you go to the wrong transmission shop. So, you know, if you had a really big legal issue, you'd probably travel a little further to go to your lawyer. If you needed to buy a car, you'd probably travel to the dealer that was going to give you the best deal, because it's not a very often purchase. It's not like you got to roll over to Tri-City Transmission every other week. You're going to have to make 2 trips, one to drop it off and one to pick it up. So it's worth the drive. Dave's not going to say this, but I will. I'll be his spokesman for him. It's worth the drive. You know, you'll have to work with them to figure out scheduling. Maybe it's something they can check it out and decide, yeah, you need to leave it, and you take an Uber home or you rent a car. I mean, if you go somewhere and you buy a transmission you didn't need, that's a hell of a lot more than a rental car.
Well, I hate to say it.
I will work it out with you. I have a cycle question. I'm going to go over to you guys sometime next week, all right?
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Now, you guys claim to be cycle experts. I've got a high-end cycle that's carbon fiber that my son was riding and dropped it, and where the aluminum joins the carbon fiber, it broke off the derailleur holder.
Get the welder out.
See, now I'm trying to put you on the spot here.
Well, a lot of those derailleur hangers are replaceable, so they're built to break. So because you don't want your frame to go bad because you bang the derailleur, because you're often going to bang the derailleur. And more than likely is
But it's the part that actually is molded into the carbon fiber that broke.
And that's just not a good situation. So no good news. Yeah, no good news for there.
Well, put the bike in the back of the truck, and when you take the truck down to Tri-City, Dave will take a look.
I'll take a peek at it. But also, you know, I know my buddy just broke his carbon frame, and he was able to get it repaired. He took it up to Air Park Bicycle, and they got a connection, a guy who can repair carbon. So it can be done, you know. So may not be cheap. Thanks so much for the call, Richard. We're going to go with Ron. He's got a 2002 Tahoe. He's in Mesa. How can we help you, Ron? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Yes, I've got a 2002 four-wheel drive Tahoe with 2 dashboard light problems. I recently had to replace the negative battery cable because it was corroded. And ever since then, I've got a service four-wheel drive light that won't go away. And I'm unable to use the push-button selector to go between 2 and 4-wheel drive. The second issue is I've got an ABS light on the dash that's there most of the time. It is a little bit intermittent, but it's there even though I've replaced the 2 sensors on the front wheels.
All right, I'll get the first question, Matt. I'll get the second question. I don't think that your service four-wheel drive light necessarily has anything to do with the battery change. That's a very common pattern issue with that vehicle. They have an electric motor down on the transfer case. and a lot of times the transfer case actually leaks into that electric motor. So there's an encoder deal in there, which is it responds to the computer to tell the computer where the transfer case is at. And there's issues with that sensor down there. The other thing that's a very common pattern failure is those buttons right there on the dashboard. It's it's a $120 piece, but they regularly go bad, those buttons. So it's going to be either of those two ends. Not uncommon, and then that's just an educated guess based off the patterns that we see come through our shop. That I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm saying very, very likely. And the way we diagnose that is we get in the scanner and we try and control that motor, and then we also see what the voltage looks like coming out of that sensor. So pretty common problem.
Sure. And then on the ABS problem, I'll go back a little bit to the battery cable change. Make sure that all your connections are good and tight and clean. You've got to. I'm hoping that you used a factory battery cable, original equipment battery cable, and so just make sure it's clean and tight. It's nice and clean and tight where it bolted down to the frame or where it bolted to the engine block, and make sure those ground wires are good. And then as far as the ABS goes, I don't know why you replaced the two sensors. Maybe because that might be just a common problem, or if there was a fault code. That should set a fault in the ABS controller. You can read the code and run through the diagnostic chart. It's also not uncommon to have the ABS controller itself go bad, and those can be fixed a lot of times as opposed to replaced, because it's just one little solder joint in there on the power board that usually goes bad, and we can fix those off and take those off and fix them in a couple days and turn it around rather than replace. But again, just like the four-wheel drive thing, pretty educated guess. It needs to be diagnosed to confirm it.
Thanks for the call, Ron. 602-277-5827. When we come back, we're finishing up with Michael, Ray, and Matt. You're listening to Bumper to Bumper Radio.
It sounds like they've just had the accurate automotive experience. We're family owned and operated and have served the Mesa, Tempe, Gilbert communities for over 22 years. We focus on building long-lasting relationships and, oh yeah, listening to you so that we can understand, meet, and exceed your expectations. One location, 14 bays, 88 years of automotive expertise, and a passionate commitment to customer service and excellence. My name is Lee Weatherby, and I approve this message because it's true. We love what we do, and we want to do it for you. Accurate Automotive, the home of friends serving friends.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A+ rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20+ years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
Matt and I share car repair tips weekly to help you keep your car safely on the road, and a few of them are easy to do.
Yep, you're right, Dave. And one of the easiest is to have a dependable battery that you can trust to get you started no matter what the conditions.
Interstate batteries are what we trust at Bumper to Bumper Radio. In fact, they're what we use at our own shops for our customers.
If you're like most people, your car is one of your most valuable investments. Make sure you take care of that investment with the power necessary to get you where you need to be. Interstate batteries are America's #1 replacement brand with the factory fresh guarantee, and they're easy to find at good shops everywhere.
Cars or trucks, Interstate has you covered with long life and performance in our harsh desert climates with products like Megatron Plus that carries a 30-month free replacement and a 6-year performance guarantee.
Interstate batteries, no battery lasts longer. Check them out at interstatebatteries.com.
Few cities are as car-centric as Phoenix, and this is the show that'll help you to better understand that machine you depend on to get around the valley. It's Bumper to Bumper Radio. KTAR News on 92.3 FM and the KTAR app for Android and iPhone.
All righty, welcome back to the Father's Day week edition.
Yeah, Father's Day week. That is way better than weekend.
That's right. It's a Father's Day week, Dave. So, of Bumper to Bumper Radio. And I'm Matt Allen, Dave Riccio here. And as always, we're helping you with your car any chance we can every single Saturday and 24/7 at bumpertobumperradio.com. You can go there. You can find my shop, Virginia Auto Service. You can find Dave's shop, Tri-City Transmission. And you can find a bunch of other shops maybe in your neighborhood if you don't have a car guy. So if you're looking for one, bumpertobumperradio.com.
Dave, hey, and if you miss a show and you want to go back to a question, we got the podcast. You can go find all those shows on our website.
Yeah. Hey, you know what else you can do on the website? Go to Facebook. Give us a like.
Yeah.
I like making new friends.
I know.
We could have some Facebook friends out there, and you can shoot us a question on there during the week too. Sometimes we answer those, and we'll chat with you via Facebook. So give us a like while you're there.
For sure. We got to get Matt in Tempe. He's been holding an 01 Isuzu Via Cross. How can we help you, Matt? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking the call.
You bet.
So, got a transmission question. So, I've been having some shifting issues recently, and I'll back up a little bit. Ever since I've had the thing, I've had a delay shift into reverse. So, this a couple of weekends ago, I tore into it. I knew I needed to replace the solenoids for a shift problem I was having. Tore into it, replaced all 5 solenoids, put everything back together, fixed my shifting problem, but now my delay into reverse is even worse than it was before. I'm talking about a 4 to 5 second delay before reverse engages. So I did check the check ball position, made sure the check balls were in place in the valve body, replaced the valve body gaskets. I don't know what else to do. You guys got any suggestions?
Man, are you looking for an apprenticeship job, Dave?
Yeah, you ever think about working in a transmission shop? There's not too many people that will dig that far into a transmission. So I'm going to give you some kudos there. I know a lot of mechanics are like, I don't want to take that off because balls and springs and stuff are in there. So I'm going to say wow on that. I don't have a ply chart right now to say what is on in reverse to see what's going on, but the solenoids, we went ahead and replaced all of them, for whatever reason we did. And I'm not sure, if you had a symptom that did that, but there's going to be a couple of shift solenoids and a pressure control solenoid and that type of thing. But as far as we may be starting to have a mechanical problem as far as reverse goes, if I were testing it, I'd put a pressure gauge on it to see what happens when I go to reverse. One of the other common problems with that transmission is the Prindle switch. Park reverse neutral drive. It's also referred to as neutral safety switch. Ford calls them an MLPS switch. But that vehicle is very common to have switch problems, and that can certainly play havoc with the transmission. So one way you're going to diagnose that has the lights on the dashboard. If those things ever act strange, I would start looking there. The park reverse neutral light on the dashboard.
One thing he said, and he talked about the Via Cross, and probably not many people know what a Via Cross is, but he said, when I got this thing, it's a funky vehicle. They're really cool. I mean, we have a customer that has one. We ended up putting heads on it and and fixing it up, but you do not see very many of those.
No.
And usually the people that have those things are cherry. They're clean and they got nice wheels. And so I don't know how Matt's is, but I think they're a pretty cool vehicle.
Matt, if you ever want to swing by and take it for a spin with me, you're in Tempe, you're just down the street. I'd be happy to do that with you as a courtesy and maybe give you some pointers as far as what to look at next when I got an apply chart in front of me where I can help you better.
And if you didn't hear where Dave's at Tri-City Transmission right there in Tempe.
For sure. Thanks for the call, Matt. We're going to go with Michael in Tempe also. He's got an 06 Ford Ranger. How can we help you, Michael? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Yeah, my Ford has got a check engine light. A little bit of history. Quit running. Thought it was the impact switch. Ended up replacing the fuel pump. And now the fault engine, it says it's got a lean condition in both things.
So does the car runs now, right?
Yeah, it takes a while to start it up. It doesn't start right up.
Okay.
And it does run.
When you say takes a while, is that like an extended crank, like 20 seconds, or is that like 5 seconds?
I normally do two starts, about 5 to 10 seconds.
So crank, and it finally starts. And once it starts, how does it run?
Runs perfect. No hiccups, no nothing.
But it has a continuous code comes back for a lean condition on both banks?
Right.
So a 171 and a 174?
I believe that's correct,
okay.
Yeah.
230, 232.
Yeah, whatever, all the same. It's all ball bearings these days.
That was from Mr. Mom. 220, 221.
Whatever it takes. Well, a lean condition is you're going to get it two ways. You've either got too much air, so you got a vacuum leak somewhere, or you've got not enough fuel, lean condition. So you could have a fuel pump that's not supplying enough fuel volume. So we need to really know, did this problem happen before the car stalled and had the fuel pump go bad? We don't know. So there's a diagnostic chart to follow for that code. You could have a dirty mass airflow sensor. You could have low fuel pressure. You could have a vacuum leak.
Yeah, the long crank still concerns me, like we got a fuel pressure problem.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure. Some more steps in getting the pressure gauge on that thing. Fuel pressure gauge would be the next step in my mind. So thanks for the call, Michael. We're going to go with Ray in Goodyear. He's got a 2000 Chevy S10. How can we help you, Ray? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hey, Matt, Dave. Thank you for taking my call.
You bet.
2000 Chevy S10, V6, 4.3 Vortec. It's a Colorado truck. Came out in October of 2015 to Arizona. Original owner was my grandma. It has 105,000 miles on it, and it has a rough idle. It wants to start sometimes on the first try, and then sometimes it takes a couple of times to start. There's been times I pulled out of the driveway, and it shut off on me, and it just wants to bog down when I give it the gas to go. It just doesn't want to get up and go. It takes time. And then, let's see, the spark plugs have been replaced 5,000 miles ago, and that's really about it. I mean, besides all the fluids for the 100,000 maintenance. So I don't know what it could be.
So it just lacks power.
Yeah, it's bogging down. When I want to get on the freeway, I can gun it, and it just seems like it wants to rev up higher than it wants, and then it catches up, and then it wants to go. Not so much like a transmission problem, just more like maybe a fuel air mixture problem, or
okay.
Okay.
Well, I mean, again, that's until we can experience that. That's something that I mean, we can guess. I was thinking at first, maybe that's got the Vortec fuel injector, the spider cleaners.
deal.
Maybe run over to Napa and get a can of Seafoam. Sometimes some of these snake oils work. Maybe it's worth running some Seafoam or some Liquimol or a BG, a professional cleaner, through the fuel system. See if that helps. Otherwise, it needs to get somebody for diagnosis. In Naz from Gilbert, we will pick up your call after the show.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Bree, for running the dials. Next week is Battery Week here at Bumper to Bumper Radio. That is a hot topic. So we're going to have the people from Interstate in. They're going to be able to ask more technical battery questions than Matt and I can handle.
And Saturday will be the culmination of Father's Day week.
That's right. We'll see you next week.